Hey, good morning, you guys. Welcome to episode 45 and the championship Sunday edition of the First and 10 NFL New York Jets podcast. And we're happy to welcome back this morning Mr. Marco. Didn't we
Good
say
morning, guys.
Didn't we say last week we'll see you next week?
You did. I'm so happy to be here. One, I'm happy to be with you guys. Two, I'm happy because the reason why I'm here is that we're playing tomorrow. So, there's that. There is that.
Incredible.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I thought it was seriously the best divisional round weekend that I can remember.
Ever.
Right?
Yeah. No question.
Absolutely.
No question.
Every game going, and we're saying before, the crazy thing is every game was so different, right? Niners, Packers was just a dogfight in the trenches, under the snow, the ice, the cold. You had the almost umpteenth Brady comeback and Rams Bucks. You had the ultimate shootout in the last 2 minutes of the Bills Chiefs games, and you had the up and coming Bengals team and upsetting. I mean, it was just on another walk off. It's just incredible. Really incredible.
Hey, I remember us saying last week we could see every underdog winning.
Yes.
And it almost happened.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. You got
I don't
close.
know who out there, if anyone saw 4 games within 6 points, 3 field goals in the last second, and an overtime game that game, Chiefs Bills, might have been the game of the century, let alone this decade alone. Whoever saw that coming, God bless them, because that was such a great weekend of football. I don't know when we got something like that.
So much fun.
Yeah.
I personally hope that tomorrow we have a more boring game. The evening game, I hope it's very boring. It's all for the – I don't know who's the home team, actually, because apparently the projections are that attendance is going to be 65% 49ers fan, 35% Rams fans.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Hey,
Marco,
we're calling it Levi's South by now.
Okay. Marco, maybe because it's your team, so you follow a little more deeply. Was there some ticket controversy going on? Were they trying to double the prices for 49er fans, or what was?
No,
get out of here! Are you kidding me?
No, what they tried to do, which actually ultimately backfired, was because the last game that we played at SoFi, last regular season game. It was mostly 49ers fans. It was the wives of some of the players, I think Whitworth's and Stafford's, and when, don't sell tickets to Niners fans. We need you guys, to support our team. Last time we went through a crazy game where Stafford had to go to heart count every time we snapped the ball because it was so loud.
Wow.
And please don't do that. We need your support. And the Rams actually got Ticketmaster to say, we're not going to sell tickets to anybody outside of an LA area code credit card.
Okay.
Well, that didn't work.
Okay.
One, there's plenty of Niner fans in the LA area. Two, most of those tickets go in the secondary market. And, and by the way, even on Ticketmaster, if you use PayPal, and Ticketmaster allows you to use PayPal hides your zip code. Okay. So all they did was kind of light a fire under Niners fans and went on social media going, I live in LA. If anybody wants tickets, I'll get them. And it's just, so now the projection are from Vivid Seats are then instead of 60-40 like last time, it's likely to be 65-35 red and gold.
Have you ever seen an organization where another organization is in their head that much?
I understand that, you are basically you
Jets Patriots.
Okay. But I don't hear. I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Margaret. To answer you, Kevin, it's not like MetLife says we're not selling tickets to the Patriots. This is almost like saying, you know what, 49er fans, beware, stay out, stay out.
So, but it will ultimately, tomorrow is going to be another. I don't care what the record is. I don't care what happened up until tonight. Truth is,
Doesn't matter. Doesn't
It doesn't
matter.
matter. It doesn't matter.
Comes
Truth is
down
that
to-
the two
comes down to
teams
one
are
game.
really different. It's one game,
Hmm.
60 minutes, unless we go to overtime again. And it's two teams that know each other very well. Two coaches know each other very well. That are, however, I think very different. And it can go. And you know what? A ball bounces the wrong way or the right way, and that's how the game is going to go.
So, Marco, don't get mad at me. Can I play
No.
Grim Reaper for a second?
Of course you can.
Some friend I am, right?
No, dude, you did it
It
last night
doesn't-
and it worked. So
Are you the type of fan like me, let's say, where does it worry you that the ball has to drop? Like, you beat this team 6 in a row. When is it going to end? Is this the final curtain call this Sunday night? Does it end?
You're saying like law of averages, you know?
Yes.
Yes.
So I a little bit, right? I was one of those. I was hoping that the Bucks would win. You remember, like last weekend, I said it was going to be Chiefs, Bucks, Niners, and Bengals, and I said, you know, the Rams are probably the better team, but I just would like to see the Bucks win so that we can play in Florida and we can get a Jimmy versus Brady matchup. And I also don't want to like play the Rams for the umpteenth time.
Yeah.
Truth is that, you know, seriously, every game is its own history. And I do think that there is a reason why we are on that streak. And it is that we tend to match up fairly well with the Rams. Having said that, you know, we got really close to losing the last matchup. And I can seriously see tomorrow, you know, if we do not rattle Stafford early on, or if instead
it's gonna be a long
night. And same thing, the other direction. If Von Miller and Aaron Donald start getting penetration early on, it's going to be a long freaking night for Jimmy Garoppolo and our running backs. Right?
145 total meetings between you guys.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
But you do lead the series 75 to 67 and 3 ties.
Yep.
3 ties. Yes. The last one in the Harbaugh era, right? Yeah, we tied. Yeah.
Last postseason meeting was 1990.
Yeah.
Whew, that's a long time ago.
And you took them out 30-3. So
yeah.
So
And then
Kevin,
we went on to win the Super Bowl.
I'm glad you brought all that up. So I'm gonna give Marco a little more information. What I found off of what you said. You said about the 3 ties, Kevin. Those came in 54, 68, and 2012. Those were the 3 games that ended in a tie. What shocked me, but before I even say what shocked me, let me just give you some numbers, Marco and guys, how streaky of a series this was. The 49ers have won 17 in a row from 1990 to 1998. 17 in a row.
Damn.
The Rams have won 10 in a row from 70 to 75. And now the 49ers have gained the streak back since 2019, winning 6 in a row. The one thing that shocks me is, like you said, Kevin, only 1 postseason matchup.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
You know?
I mean, you know what? If you think about it, the fact that there's 2 NFC West teams and the championship game, and there was 3 in the playoffs, tells you how difficult that division is.
I mean, 1990 was that like Warner and Falk and all those guys on the Rams?
I think the Rams. I think that's a little later. I think.
Yeah.
I'm trying to read. You know, my brain's a little foggy.
Jesus, you're talking about 32 years ago, man.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I think Warner is after when they owned us, because I think we
greatest show on turf.
Turf. Yeah, I think that's a little later.
That show took off in 96, 97.
On
turf. Yeah.
Because I remember they were the greatest show on turf for the first Tom Brady ring, I think. So that's later. Yeah.
Who was taking the Rams to the postseason back then?
I have no idea. I can't remember.
Well, I know Vince Ferragamo took them to 1 Super Bowl, but that was the 70s. I don't know. Did the Rams? That's a good question. I'll have to go back.
I need to look it up also because if you think about the score.
Team? I guess they were because they were the St. Louis Rams.
Yes.
But that was the later 90s when Kurt Warner took over and they lost the Titans lost by that 3 inches.
Everett. Did they have a QB named Everett?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which Jim Rome used to butt heads with. Jim Rome used to call him she. I don't know if you remember that on his talk show. And when Jim Everett was on one day, they went at it on live TV. I mean, they had to put up the screen, stay tuned, because it almost came to blows if it didn't, if I remember right. But you know how we say you always get a wild card like the Giants the year they won the Super Bowl? Do you feel in your heart that these are the 4 best teams, right? No doubt in your mind, these are the 4 best teams this weekend.
Well, they're still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so had you asked that question, probably had we discussed this 5 weeks ago, I think the answer would have been a resounding no. But now I think, given how close the games were, one can argue that any other team of the 4 that played last weekend could be in this game as well, right? It's not that there was no blowout. Right. So do they deserve to be here? Definitely. I mean, it was, they weren't any major, ref interventions. Through the games.
Yeah. They didn't sway the game one way or another. And that's
right. Which is a good thing. Having said that, it was a question of, especially for the Bills, it was a question of seconds, right? Seconds. What happened in those 13 seconds and then the coin toss and everything. It was just.
Everybody says, you see the meme going around or something. There's nothing else Josh Allen could have done. And he did everything. He could have called heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yes.
Could have called heads in overtime.
Fair enough, yeah.
Well, it's funny, like, it's true. Josh Allen did no wrong in my mind. The kid played a perfect game.
Played his ass off.
When you talk about he's the only quarterback, and I'm going to name the other 4 who in 2 playoff games had 9 touchdown passes with no interceptions and lost the following week, where Joe Flacco, Montana, Matt Ryan, and Steve Young all won and all went to Super Bowls. He's the only one. How do you got to feel for the kid? And this is coming from a Jet fan.
And you add on top of that his receiver scored 4 touchdowns in the playoffs, something that not even Jerry Rice ever did.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? On the other hand, you have Joe Burrow getting sacked 8 times.
9
right?
times. Yeah,
9 times.
Yeah, 9.
9 times.
Yeah.
You get sacked 9 times and you still win the game.
Yeah. So, Marco, I'm so glad you're on par, because that was my next thing. And then you get someone like Joe Burrow, who was sacked 9 times and won. And only one other quarterback was sacked that many times in a playoff game and went on to win. And that was Donovan McNabb, who was sacked 8 times.
Eagles, yeah.
Yeah, in the division round and went on to win. That's what makes football so great, because if I never watched the game and you said to me before the game started, Burrow's going to get crushed today, 9 sacks, I tell you 35-3, put it in the book.
Right. They're not even going to be.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Had you guys told me last Saturday that the Niners were not going to score a single offensive touchdown, that Jimmy was going to throw a pick, and we're going to win, I was like, yeah, sure. Against Rodgers. Yeah, I'll believe that. And
what are you guys smoking, right?
Right? Yes, exactly. And it happened.
Yeah.
It happened. I think it's one of the things that makes football such great fun to watch on TV.
Yeah.
It makes for fantastic TV.
Yeah.
It's 3 hours of insanity for those games. And
right.
and I understand, as a European, and you can imagine in Italy, not many people understand it, follow it, know the rules, and try and explain, how it works is complicated enough. But once you get into it, it freaking there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. And this coming from someone that grew up in, soccer country.
Marco, who's your special teams coach?
Richard
His name?
Hightower. Yeah, Richard Hightower.
In my mind, your
He had-
special teams put on a clinic.
Yes.
You know what? But it was about time, because we had been abysmal for the entire freaking season. We lost so many games, or rather did not win some of the games that were in our hands because of bad special teams play. We even, I mean, if you look at how the special teams played against the Cowboys, that was horrific.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly what Shanahan told his buddy, the special teams coach, but it definitely worked. Because, and I know that the Packers were ranked even lower in terms of special team. If you watch the very last play, they were so rattled that even after a timeout on our final field goal, there was only 10 Packers on the field.
Wow. And no flag was called?
Wow.
Well, no, because it was, it was 12. There was only 10. So
you're right. They don't flag you for not having enough.
My bad. No, you're right.
Just.
Can you guys ever recall a game where a special team had a block punt and a field goal block?
I can't.
Wow.
I can't.
Nope.
I really can't.
Now,
Nope.
I have a question, and this is just my take. I haven't heard any of the sports shows this week bring this up. I just want to bring something up about Aaron Rodgers. First, I want to ask you guys, what's your opinion on Rodgers? Now, he's lost another big one. What do you like? What is your take on Rodgers?
I think he's me personally, I think he's done in Green Bay.
Okay.
I think you'll see him either retired in a booth on a Sunday pregame show, or you'll see him on an.
I'm not sure he's that likable, but that's me.
Yeah. Well, here's what
or you'll see him on another team somewhere.
Here's what my take.
Don't count the Giants out.
A lot of people, the conspiracy theory is Denver because that the offensive corner. But anyway, what I was trying to say is that here's my take on Rodgers, and I'm the only one who said this. I haven't heard anyone else say this or sports shows. I'm gonna equivalent Aaron Rodgers to Patrick Ewing, and I'll get to my point. I know you're saying basketball, football. How does it equivalent? I always felt as a Knicks fan, Patrick Ewing gave 110% all year. That when it came time to the playoffs, there was no next level. I feel like Aaron Rodgers does 110% all year to get this team to the playoffs, but then there's no next level for him. When all these teams in the playoffs, everyone's given 110. Everyone raises their game. He doesn't have any more to raise, and that's my take on it. And it may sound silly. That's why maybe no one else is saying it. And maybe me bringing it up is just a stupid point. But I feel like Rodgers doesn't have that next level. And you need that next level. Like you saw Stafford take that next level against the Bucks. Odell Beckham take that next. Like I see Rodgers looking the same. 17 regular season games, the same in the playoffs. There's not that next level. And I think this is why year after year he gets knocked out of the playoffs. But that's just me. It may be a silly take, and I'm the only one who said it, maybe because I'm stupid. But I haven't heard anyone else bring that up.
I can't figure it out because clearly, I mean, the guy is insanely talented, right? He's absolutely unreal. And, in the aftermath of Sunday's game, I've heard anything from he's not focused enough throughout the year. They say Brady, all he talks about is ball, right? Aaron Rodgers has an opinion on everything and spends time voicing those opinions. Maybe that's a factor. He lacks the killer instinct in the playoffs, as you're saying. Some Packers fans in our little, Twitter metal community, Greg, they were saying one of the issues is he's more worried about his stats than actual winning. So when things are not going his way, he starts playing conservatively and doesn't take chances. because he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to endanger his touchdown to interception ratio.
Oh, man,
I don't honestly, I don't know. I mean, I only focus on Rodgers when he comes out and says something that grates me the wrong way, or when we play him, which has been a lot in the past few years. I think he's phenomenal. I think Devontae Adams is just as good.
I wish he was on my team, Adams.
Right?
Yeah.
But truth is that, it might be also be just a matter of luck, like things not going his way. I don't know. I think definitely Brady and Manning had more, in my opinion, of an eye of the tiger especially when it came to the playoffs.
And but you know what, and this is why I say what I said. I've watched enough of Brady destroy my team, but I've watched him enough in the playoffs where he takes that next level. Like, he willed the Buccaneers on his back last week to get that game to where it was. Mm-hmm. We've watched Manning in the playoffs enough times will that team to. I'm starting to see not see that in Rodgers. I'm starting to see, all right, throw my ball, but walk off the field. Like, unless the camera's not showing it, I've never seen him get into a player's face on the sidelines. I've never seen him, animate.
It'll be interesting, on that. It's going to be interesting to see how Stafford is tomorrow, because clearly he's insanely talented. Mm-hmm. He has an amazing arm, and he has two very, very talented receivers and a very good tight end. Okay. Right. However, he's great against man coverage, and he tends to get rattled if you sack him a couple of times. He starts to get jittery.
Yeah.
And it'll trigger happy.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that goes tomorrow, because it's the opposite of Jimmy, right? Nothing rattles the guy, to the point that sometimes you would want something to rattle him.
Yeah, it's right.
Like, do not throw in coverage again. Right? So it's going to be interesting how the game is going to go tomorrow, because I think if the Rams take a 2-touchdown lead, this time they're not going to get let go. I don't see us climbing out of a 2 TD hole again.
Yeah, bigger. Yeah.
But if by any chance from the get-go, our running game and our defense starts sort of pounding at the Rams, then it's a different ball game, because you just look at the two teams, we're just bigger and heavier.
Okay.
Right. You look at their linebackers, look at our linebackers. So because they built their team in a completely different fashion, and respect, but I mean, given the track record, they did a phenomenal job. Right. But they have superstars, because we're talking, 5 or 6 superstars, but then there was a big drop off.
Okay.
Our guys, yes. I mean, you have Trent Williams and maybe Debo, but the rest is you have a number of really, really, really good players. But the drop off between our top linebacker and the other two is not that big.
Okay.
And when you look at the safeties, same thing. You look at our receivers, you got Debo, but then the others, I mean, you got to pick your poison. And so and we're heavy, and their linebackers are not.
Okay.
And if by any chance their safeties, again, if Rapp can't start and they're back to, I know their young guy has played, their 7th router has played great in the past 2 games, but calling plays is complicated. And if they need to have Eric Weddle, again, there's a San Diego connection. I think is a great guy and was a fantastic player, but you've got to pull someone out of retirement after 2 years, and you go against, Ayuk and Debo and Kittle and Sherfield and all those. Well, it's going to be tough for them as well.
The 2 guys you mentioned, are they full go? Are they ready to go, or is it still?
Yes. There is a question mark, I think, for them for Rapp that was questionable, and on our side on Trent Williams. But I think that Trent, because he twisted an ankle during the games with the Packers, but I think he would play on one leg. I mean, how many times to get to an NFC championship game, right?
Agree.
And that's right.
Agree.
I completely agree. It's go to if you can't suit up and play now, in a game like this. Come on.
And then you have 2 weeks to recover if you make it, right?
Yeah.
If not,
Yeah.
you just go home and sit on the beach. So you can,
And you know,
it.
it's so hard to get to this point. Every year, it's so hard to get to this point. You may never be here again.
Again, you're one fumble away, one injury away from just your season ending in January.
You know
and you always think, okay, you're here. Yeah. Oh, well, all right. If we lose the AFC or the NFC championship, we'll be back next year. No.
Unless you're the Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, Kevin, you said it right.
Or the Patriots in their prime, or,
Kevin, you said it right. You hit the nail on the corners. You never know if you're coming back here. Marino is the perfect example. First year, Super Bowl, didn't win it, never sniffed it again.
That's why I say to
so hard.
All the fans of these teams that make it to the end, and you, Marco, and soak it all in, man.
Absolutely.
Soak it all in. Watch every show about your team. Do this because you may never be here again.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you brought up the Chiefs, Marco. They're the new Patriots. Chief fans enjoy this. When this run ends, it may never.
That's it, right? That's right, man.
The biggest difference we were talking about with Kevin before is that they're going to run into cap trouble between Mahomes, Chris Jones, Tyreek Hill. All those contracts are so expensive that
and as good as he is, Mahomes, if you start losing that supporting cast around him, it
becomes a little more complicated.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Where did our time go? We're already under 10 minutes.
I know. I see that.
The thing is, guys, I agree with what you're saying, but again, I'm going to throw the monkey wrench. I feel like teams that are, I should say this, coaches like Reed and even your coach, Marco, and you could say more than I can. I'm just watching as an outcast. I'm not a fan of your team. I watch them. These coaches remind me of coaches that it's their system, and anyone who comes in, they'll do fine. Like, these aren't teams that are ever going to go in a 12-year hiatus like my team. Like, these teams are always going to be on the cusp of greatness. Because
it's the reason why I think it's you make it. I think it's a great point. It's the reason why the Saints were irrelevant every year for so long, unless something major happened injury wise. Because Sean Payton knew who he needed. He knew, he had a system in place, a system in mind. I mean, Belichick went to the playoffs with a rookie quarterback this year. Now, they got smacked, but he's such a good coach that you have. I think they know how to draft players, and it cracks me up when fans like us, right, like 2 years later, say, "Oh, I can't believe they didn't pick that guy when they had the 10th pick." And
right.
Guy. And he said, "Look at pick 12 to 13, how well they worked out." That's BS, right? I mean, you pick 7, 8, 10 players in a draft. If you hit 3 solid starters, you're good. If you hit 5, and from time to time you hit a Pro Bowler, you hit pay dirt, because it's so difficult. Difficult. I mean, we found gems in between the 4th and the 5th round.
Yeah.
Our running back, who's lighting up the league this year, is a 7th rounder. Kittle is a 5th rounder.
Yeah.
Hey, you find diamonds and roughs in these later rounds, man.
Well,
absolutely.
And Marco, as a Jet fan, that's what we're learning from Joe D. Like, all right, we'll throw his first draft out the window because but this second draft, and again, maybe I have the rose-colored glasses but our late picks like Peanock and give me some names, Kevin. Michael Carter II.
Carter, yeah.
These names are coming on, and what I'm even finding out is that Joe D is doing a good job with the undrafted free agents who he's bringing on board, and
that's where you're really
learning the system. And like you said, it's hard to say, "Oh, this guy, he went 4th, he's going to be an All-Pro." It's your second and third.
Listen, these undrafted guys, that's where you find your Corvettes.
Yes, your diamonds in the rough. That's going to make the team. Yeah.
Yeah, we got one of our starting linebackers that this year he played lights out as an undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
Aziz Al-Shire is phenomenal. And he was a UDFA.
Wow.
But you know, you also have to be prepared. In fact, sometimes your first and second round. I mean, I'm sorry, our first pick that we traded a ranch for is on the bench right now because our quarterback is not playing.
Yeah.
Our second rounder, who's an offensive lineman, didn't even make the 53 on game day for I think 10 or 11 or 12 games.
Wow.
Right. Our third rounder, the cornerback that is playing now, and is the guy that intercepted Stafford at the end of the last game. He's playing good now, but the first 2 games he came in only because someone was injured, and it was painful to watch. But you know, I was one of those like, I can't believe we wasted another bunch of picks in the early rounds. Why do I? And you know what? Once again, I got to keep my mouth shut, watch the games, and thank God to have Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch in our front office together with Peters and all the other guys that deal with the draft, because we are where we are thanks to them.
Marco, I'm smiling because you said, oh, this guy was painful to watch. You're in an AFC championship. You don't know what pain is.
Dude, we were
the pain.
35. Yeah, we were 35 and we were this close to not even making the playoffs.
Listen, just
you know,
again, take it all in, man.
Enjoy
every
kickoff.
Enjoy every bit of it.
Kickoff is at 3 a.m. on Monday local time.
Wow.
So I got at this point, I got 3 options. One, I actually set an alarm for like 2:50 and watch the game live. The issue is work starts early for me on Monday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday I'm traveling. Option number 2 is I have my usual wake up call on Mondays around 5:30. At that point, the game is almost over, so I kind of watch the end of it. 3, I am a good boy, and again, like I did for last game, I don't check Twitter, like the news, anything.
Don't even want to know. Don't even want to know.
I'm gonna sit myself on the couch, and Mrs. and I are gonna sit there with our coffees and watch the game as if it was live.
Okay.
I don't know if I can do it though.
Marco, when I texted you last weekend to congratulate you, you didn't see it then till I didn't ruin it for you, right?
No. I didn't. Okay. I seriously. I muted my phone.
Okay.
And when you get the alerts. Before anything, I clear them all.
Yeah.
So that I got nothing.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be the guy who you pick up your phone and says, oh, Greg, that asshole, he said congratulations. Oh, shit. Damn him.
But you guys were talking about playing with house money. That's kind of how I feel now.
Absolutely, man. It's all gravy now, right?
It's all, yes. It's so, actually, let's put it this way. Between losing another Super Bowl and losing a championship game, I'd rather lose on Sunday. I cannot take the third straight loss in the Super Bowl. That would bum me out for weeks.
Yeah.
I really can't.
Again, now, it's so hard to get back to this point. I mean, I think of Testaverde and Parcells and then after the 99. Okay, me and my brother, the first game of the season, 1999 season, we're sitting there. Everybody has us picked to go to the Super Bowl. Okay, the first game, we're like, this is our year. Let's go. Not more than 5 minutes into the game, Testaverde goes down with an Achilles.
Or Achilles.
Yeah. And we were on a drive to score.
I remember that because I was in LA at the time. Oh, speaking of LA, I am so grateful. Actually, my bank account is so grateful that right now, oddly enough, it's January and we're not in San Diego and we're in Como, because otherwise I would have spent an insane amount of money to be at SoFi tomorrow night. And if by any chance we won, I would have spent an insane amount of money
to go to the Super Bowl.
To be at the Super Bowl. So my bank account basically is sending me thank you notes every day for the fact that I'm in Italy. I'm now over there.
Marco, real quick, we have 2 minutes with you. Give me your prediction. Chiefs Bengals. Is it a game or is it a blowout?
I think it might be a bit. I think the Chiefs will win comfortably. I'm not sure if it's going to be a blowout, but unless something really crazy happens, which again it might, I think it's going to be Chiefs.
Okay.
Well, my picks are I'm going Chiefs Niners. I'm sticking with you. Chiefs Niners.
I appreciate that, man. I think for our game, either we win something like 32-16 or 17, or they win a game of attrition where they win 27-24, 30-27. Because I think we'll stay in there because we're dogs. And I think the only way we win is we set the tone from the get-go and the Rams can't breathe. And it can go either way.
Yep.
Sounds good to me.
Marco.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you for coming on
Always
once again.
pleasure.
We'll talk to you next week.
I hope so, man. I hope so.
We will. I'm telling you, we'll talk.
Take care, guys.
Be good, Marco. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a great one. Good luck tomorrow.
Nice.
Well,
always great having Marco on.
Yes, we're going to get cut off here. So again, we'll be back in a second to
wrap it up.
It up.
Yeah. I do have, I wish we could have got Marco back because I do have an interesting take, and this is just me, on the Bengals Chiefs, but we'll talk about it on the flip side. Well, we're going to, like you said, get cut off. Yeah.
We're getting axed in a second.
Yeah. And once we do, we'll come back with our take. I also have an interesting take with the 49ers Rams.
Do you? Wow, that was fast. Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't technology great?
Yeah. So before we got cut off, I was saying I had an interesting take on this Bengals Chiefs game. And again, I'm probably the only one. I think it's going to be a blowout.
Oh, me too.
I think that, and the only reason why I say is because the Chiefs and the Bengals, last time they met, the Bengals to me played a perfect game. Like, you can't play the Chiefs any better than that.
Right.
And they still only won by 3. What are the chances that Jamari Chase is going to have 266 yards again?
Not going to happen. It's not going to happen, man.
Burrow's going to throw, 4 touchdown passes again. What are all the chances?
Not going to happen.
Exactly. I'm just trying to pull up some stats. I feel like the Bengals played their perfect game against the Chiefs and still couldn't get by.
Yep.
That's just my take. I didn't get a chance to tell Marco, and I know football fans like myself, we're superstitious, so I'm going to do exactly what I did last week. I'm pulling, I think, the Rams, but I'm going to be pulling for the 49ers. Just like I did last week. I thought the Packers, but I rooted for the 49ers.
Well, hey, man.
That,
I'm saying Rams Chiefs.
Wow.
Excuse me, Niners Chiefs.
Chiefs, okay. But you're all out 49ers, where I'm saying the Rams, but I will be rooting at home for the 49ers.
Yeah. Plus, I want to see him on the show again next week.
Oh, yeah. Marco, I hope you listen to the rest of the show. Excellent guest. We love having you on. Anytime in the off season you want to pop in, you get a breaking story on your team you want to share, pop on in, brother. Anytime.
So, absolutely. So let's see. Chiefs Bengals, 30 total meetings, right?
Yep.
Bengals actually lead the series 16-14.
Yep.
I don't have any postseason numbers.
Okay, so let's see what I have for you. Blah, 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 blah. This is the first time these two teams are meeting in the playoffs.
That's why we don't have any numbers.
Yep. And the point difference in these 30 games, Kevin, I think it's the closest I ever seen two teams. Bengals 607, Chiefs 591.
Okay.
The Bengals, and you talk about series, like we always talk about streaks. There's only been one streak, and the Bengals have it. They beat the Chiefs 5 times from 72 to 77. Other than that, it's been 1-1, 2-1, 2-1. You know, it's been a tight series. So, but I don't know. I don't know if the Chiefs are gonna have a letdown over that 25 points in 5 minutes. Was that not a great 5 minutes of football? If you're an offensive fan of the game, like the offensive
incredible.
side,
not too good if you're a Bills fan.
No.
The way it ended up, but that was incredible. It was incredible.
No. I can't even call the likes of that. I mean, The only thing maybe close to that was a regular season game. I think it was 2-3 years ago when the Chiefs played the Rams.
Oh yeah.
149, but
yeah, it was like a Monday night or a Thursday night or something. Yeah.
But
I remember
that's regular season. This was, you're talking about, I score, you come back and score, you give me 13 seconds, I score, we win the flip, 2.5 minutes down the field, I score again.
Hitting closer to home, it reminds me of that Jet Miami game back in the day with Marino and O'Brien and boom. Yes.
51-45 in OT.
Yes.
But again, regular season. But I understand. I agree with you. But I'm trying to think, and I'll do some research this week. Have we seen a playoff game where the last 3.5 minutes of regulation and 2.5 minutes was bam, boom? Like these quarterbacks were on fire.
On fire. Yep. Both of them.
And we didn't get to discuss this with Marco. We saw perfection in 13 seconds, where we saw 2 weeks ago Mike McCarthy and his group shit the bed. I hate to say it that way.
No. Hey, man, it all comes down. A lot of it's coaching. Okay, I mean, how come they knew what to do in that situation, but the Cowboy players didn't know what to do in that situation?
Yeah.
Well, it comes down to coaching. It's the details.
Yes.
That's why you have coaches like Reed and Belichick and Parcells in the day. It's details.
Great coaching. And somebody out there tell me, our fans, whoever subscribe, like our channel, tell me, football's got to be the one sport where if you're not prepared and your coach isn't on him, let me say this all over. Coaching in football is responsible for 4 or 5 wins a year. Good coaching is responsible. And you saw good coaching, Eric Reed that night compared to McCarthy, who's the games passed him by. And that was perfection in 13 seconds.
Yes.
Because I know, Kevin, the Chiefs are probably your second favorite team. And there's no way, Kevin, and be honest, you thought with 13 seconds left, that was happening.
No.
Now, maybe a minute and 13, but 13 seconds?
I did say it's not over yet, but for all intensive purposes, it was over. But nope.
In 13 seconds, there's
no way. Had it been over at that point and gone Buffalo's way, nobody to blame on Kansas City but the kicker.
Yeah.
But they saved his ass in the end. So.
No, you're right. But never would I. So that leads to the question was, did the Chiefs do everything right in that 13 seconds, which we both said they did, or did the Buffalo defense do everything wrong in that 13 seconds?
I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah. Did Buffalo, just like us, did their coaching staff and their defense
think
like
it's only 13 seconds? Let's go with the prevent.
Yeah. I hate the prevent defense.
Tell me about it.
I've always been the type, and again, I'm not an X's and O's guy, played the full 60 minutes. I hate that prevent nonsense.
Yep.
But anyway.
Your defense has been working up till now. Well,
yeah.
What are you changing it for?
No.
Don't go soft.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, especially since the Chiefs had a timeout in their back pocket.
That's right. That's right.
Had two, if I remember right. They had to because he hit
the
first one.
If you're going to lose and get burned, I would rather see you doing it being aggressive.
Yeah, being who you are, being what you're known for. Agree. Agree. Kevin, before we wrap it up, I want your take on two things. Sean Payton stepping down and Daboll, the Buffalo's OC, becoming the coach of the Giants.
Well, I mean, Peyton's had a good run down there. I understand. I understand. Change of scenery. I mean, Breeze is gone. You know, it's not the same. $44
million over the cap.
It's not the same Saints as it used to be. So I get it.
But now listen, did he? Now I know he stepped down and said he's taking a year off. But was there a little birdie in his ear that said Dallas is going to come calling? Stay patient.
You never know.
Now, there's the other side of the fence that says because Payton is a Parcells disciple, and Parcells did not leave Dallas the way he wanted to, and there was some butting heads. Does Payton take that job, or does he go to Parcells and say, "Tell me what my next move is? Is Dallas the way to go?"
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's whether you want to deal with Jerry Jones or not, really.
Okay. Yeah.
At this point.
Now, on the Daboll, let's have a little fun because our team is out of it, and I'll probably get some dislikes and some
tough shit.
When we were looking for a coach 2 years ago, okay, was Saleh your number one in your head? Is that who you wanted? Who did you want the Jets to?
I wanted them to look at. I wanted them to look at Daboll. Okay, but I was a McCarthy guy.
Okay.
You know.
So I'm gonna tell you that when we were looking for a coach,
I mean, actually, who I really wanted, I wanted them to lure Cowher out of retirement. That's what I want. That's
my
what
better
I really
half wanted that too. We discussed that.
Mm-hmm.
I also was like you. I thought McCarthy, but I was also worried that the game might have passed him by. But McCarthy was one of the guys. Anyway, Daboll was my first choice with Saleh my second. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm happy Saleh's here. I love Saleh. I think he's going to do great things for us.
But
what
I mean,
happens
if you're picking a rookie quarterback, I'd love to have somebody like him.
Okay.
In his ear all the time.
Yeah. And we're just having fun, Jet fans. We're not looking.
Oh, yeah.
It's the off season. Let's have a little fun, throw a monkey wrench in. What is Jet Nation going to say if Daboll takes over the Giants and in, let's say, 2 years.
They're in the Super Bowl.
Well, not so much in the Super Bowl. In 2 years.
Just competitive.
He's got them in the playoffs, and we're still just outside sniffing the playoffs.
Or 2 years from now, we're looking for a quarterback and a head coach again.
Yeah. Now, the question is, does he go this year with Daniel Jones because the draft is not quarterback rich? Or does he bring in a veteran? Does he bring in?
Why do I think Aaron Rodgers?
Okay. So you're really taking the leap of faith. I was thinking he brings in, because he was the backup for Buffalo. He knows this system. He brings in Trubisky. Now, not I'm saying to run the team, but maybe to coach Daniel Jones.
Yeah, could be.
Trubisky's still young. He's not going to want to lose out, but it's going to show Daniel Jones how this offense could be run. You know?
But I could see Rodgers in a Giant uniform.
Yeah. Could you? So you're more that he'll go to Giants and not Denver with his OC. Okay.
It's the market.
Okay.
It's the market. You go into the abyss if you go to Denver. You come to New York and you win.
Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of people would disagree with you, Kevin, and they'll say with all these sports shows and all social media, we become shrunk down to a pinky nail, like everything. There's no more where you have to be in New York to make the money. You could be anywhere. The question is, does he go to Denver and deal with Mahomes twice a year, the two upcoming studs in Justin Herbert and even Carr? Or does he go, like you said, to the Giants? Where
NFC East is a much easier division to deal with.
No, true, but he still has to face the Rams, the 49ers, and all these teams he still can't beat.
Yeah,
anyway,
I know.
That'll be this is going to be, when this Super Bowl is over, this is going to be fun. Like, I was worried, like, what do we do after this Super Bowl? Like, this is going to be fun because there's going to be a lot
there's always something to talk about.
Yeah, and this is why I said football is the greatest thing on TV. It's the best soap opera because now we got, is Brady retiring? Is Gronk retiring? I forgot the word that Brady used in his press conference. Everybody's looking at this one word. I forgot the word he used. Satisfied, I think it was. Brady's never used that word, and everyone's hanging on to the word satisfied. What does that mean? Is he stepping back? Gronk already said at this moment he probably will retire. Gronk himself, but who knows how you feel 3 months down the road.
That's right.
Where does Sean go? Where does Flores go? Now that Dable's with the Giants, Eberflus is with the Bears, where do these other coaches go? Deshaun Watson is still out there.
Yes.
This soap opera is heating up, and it's only going to get hotter as free agent opens up in March, and a month later, free agents, the draft. Oh, stay tuned, folks. It's just begun. It's just begun.
Would you like to see Rodgers on your team?
You know, Kevin,
let Zach let you know that LaFleur connection, and let Zach sit there and learn for a little bit.
You know what, Kevin? I'd be stupid to tell you no because of what Aaron is, but I'm going to take this approach to it, and everyone can laugh at me. I'm going to say no because I feel like we've been through this. Testaverde. No knock on Testaverde. Favre. You know, I feel like
This would remind me more of a Favre than a Testaverde.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I feel like, and listen, you know, and everyone who's watched our show from day one, I wasn't the biggest Zach guy, but now I am. He's here. He showed me something these last 4 weeks. And what he showed me, Kevin, is what we haven't seen from a lot of our quarterbacks. He could elevate a team because he did it without his top 2 receivers. He did it without Michael Carter, his best running back 1 week. Now, forget what the outcome of the game was. We went 1-3 in those games. He showed me something. He lit a fire under me now where I could say, you're the dude. I'm behind you. Let's go. Now, it took him 13 games to win me over, but I'm behind him now. I think getting an Aaron Rodgers, I'm sorry, Kevin, is a step back for this organization.
I have to agree with you there, but I can't say I'm sold on this kid yet.
And that's fine. And Kevin, you know me. I never said to you, your take is wrong. I'm going to.
I mean, when we said the same shit about Sam. Oh man, look at the way he played in those last 6 games. You know, and we got to stuck up our Kulu again.
No, I agree with you. But, and I'm a Sam guy, and you know that. I don't know if Sam could have did what Zach did without 1, 2, and 3 being gone. I don't know. That's just my take on it. I'm here for him.
When I think of the cast Sam was playing with, it was horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Anyway, it's again, we're going to see Zach in season 2, Salah in season 2.
Yeah.
Listen, the Jets are the 4th, I believe, the 4th richest team going into free agency. But they're going to make some moves, and they're going to free up some more money, and it's going to be fun. We're going to have a lot to talk about. So,
offensive line, offensive weapons. You cannot have enough weapons for this kid.
Yeah. Jet fans, please stay with us all year. We'll be here. Like and subscribe, and we'll have a lot to talk about after the Super Bowl with this team.
And you take somebody like Mahomes, as amazing as he is, without that supporting cast of Hill and Allaire and Kelsey.
But Ken, I don't want to spend too much time because I really would like to save this maybe during the break. I said something on to a friend of who I wanted the Jets to get. I wanted the center, that Lindenbaum. I'm very high on him. But some Jet fans are not high on him because he's not versatile. Like, he can't play another position. I don't care.
No.
Again, I'd rather not get into
Look at Mangold. He was a center. That's what he was. He was a center.
Mangold and Mawai solidified that line. This is what I feel. Let the other four guys around Lindenbaum be versatile. I need a center like Creed Humphreys, who did what Mangold did, who came in as a rookie and solidified that line. That's the reason why the Chiefs are back where they were. Mahomes was going to do his Mahomes things. Humphrey solidified that line where last year poor Mahomes got his ass kicked in the Super Bowl because there was no line. Lindenbaum, for me, I don't care if he's not versatile. If he's the center that could keep our quarterback upright and the other four are versatile, that's all I need. I don't need a center to be versatile. I need my center to be the leader of that line and control everything. That's it.
We need our next Mangold, our next Joe Fields.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our next Jim Sweeney. We need.
Yeah, I don't need my center to be. I need him to be strong and smart and solidify that line to keep Zach upright. Fancy movable object, fine. Morgan Moses, you want to move Becca Vera Tucker, you want to bring in some late offensive linemen who are versatile, that's fine with me. I don't need and I know a lot of teams are doing it. I want my center to be strong and smart. Alamango, Mawai, Fields, Sweeney, all the guys you named. Anyway, I guess we're not going to save that. But anyway, that's my take on the Lindenbaum. I know Jet fans don't want a center. They safety and linebacker and this. I want the key center to make this line solid. That's my take. Anyway, brother,
I think that's a wrap.
That's it for me from snowy NYC.
Oh, from the snowy sticks of Northwest New Jersey.
Yeah.
We call it a wrap.
Yes, we do. Yes,
on this championship weekend.
Yep.
Where they play for pay.
Yeah. All right,
so
you enjoy your weekend.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Hey, birthday day today.
You just said something earlier. I would have brought some cupcakes. Nice. You doing something special?
Shoveling snow. What else?
Are you going to tell the fan base the age, or we're not going there? We're not going to tell
them?
Everybody?
Hell yeah. 58 and feeling great.
Wow. Bless. 58. Damn. Bless my brother.
58 and feeling great.
Bless my brother.
All right.
Have a good one. Enjoy your day.
You too. Have a great one, everybody. Enjoy the games tomorrow. All right. And next stop is the Super Bowl. All right. Okay, we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day. And jet up. Have a good one, you guys.
You too.